it's great to see you. For folks who are watching this whole interview on Rudy Blair Entertainment Media, rudyblairmedia.com, we were just talking and we were just saying about how, you know, it's so easy now talking to you because we've done this so many times. It's like family. I love this. You look amazing. I love the picture right there that's sitting next to you. In fact, can we get a close up of that,
You
please?
want the close up? Absolutely,
Yeah.
you can. Ryan's gonna be so mad at me for doing this.
That's Brian's problem. He's the one who's with you, so he's got to get used to this kind of stuff. How's Brian doing
Yeah.
too?
Oh, he's doing great. He's doing great. Yeah. We just moved to the Hamilton area, so we're getting settled in, and that's been really nice. And spending lots of time together in our first year of marriage, for sure. With the pandemic, a little extra time.
I was gonna say congratulations on that because that was one of the last things we had talked about, and you kind of already explained it before, but I want to go into it. Well, no, our last interview. So folks have to watch the last interview. You talked about how the engagement happened. I don't think
Yes.
we talked about the wedding though. So
No.
what happened here? Because like I said, the engagement, I loved it. So let's talk about how you guys dealt with that, especially with COVID going on.
Yeah, we were so lucky that we never had to change any of our wedding plans. We picked a date from the beginning and we said, this is when the wedding is going to be. We're not going to change it. And whatever things are like at that time is what we'll go with. But we ended up having a beautiful, intimate wedding of about 60 people total. It
Wow.
was in the church I grew up in Listowel. So it was just, it's a beautiful old church, big stained glass windows. We took all of our family photos, even like outside of the church there. So it was just, it was beautiful. Ryan's pastor from his church in Ottawa came to actually do the ceremony. So it was kind of a combination of both of our churches, which was really nice. And then we had our reception in Stratford, Ontario, beautiful small town.
Nice.
So that was really nice. So it worked out perfectly in the perfect timing. So I feel so blessed for that. And yeah, it's been really, really nice just getting settled into some normal life after all of the wedding planning.
Ryan's a lucky guy. Could you just please describe your wedding dress for us?
Oh yes, I wish I had a picture. I don't have any in this room actually. I haven't printed them yet. But it was like a princess cut with a little bit of a lace
Uh,
cap off the shoulder, and then it was like an A line. So it was very classic romantic.
I love it. You know, you are somebody who is strong in faith. And I know we've talked about you growing up, things weren't easy. What do you think it was about your life to reach where we are today? What do you think it was? What do you think you did?
As far as my faith journey,
Your faith journey, because it said things weren't easy for you. And as years progressed, you made things happen, you made things come together, and all your dreams have basically not just come true, but are continuing. What do you think you did to really make that difference?
yeah. Well, I mean, at the end of the day, I think it just comes down to it wasn't anything really that I did. I think, God has a plan for all of us. I really believe that. And I knew from a really young age that I really felt like I was supposed to do this. I didn't come from a musical family. It didn't, no one put that on me. It was just something I had a very strong pull towards. Started singing in church, so faith was always a big part of that. And I've always just tried to really do what I felt like I was supposed to do, even if it didn't feel like the easy thing. There's been many times where I've felt like, oh, it would be just so much easier to give this all up and just to stop. But there's always been something inside of me that I've just listened to, even in terms of people that I've worked with, people, that maybe came along that didn't feel like the right fit for me, that maybe some people would have chosen to go ahead with. Just didn't, if something didn't feel right, I've tried to just honor that. And I love all the people that I get to work with. And I mean, Sam, she's amazing. And now she's one of my best friends. So I just feel like I'm really in good hands, and she's helped me so, so much.
And I was gonna actually mention, Sam, of course, Strut Entertainment too. When you get to do those promotion stuff, that's got to be a kick for you to be able to do that.
Yeah, I love all of that. It's been a blast. And yeah, Sam and I have had many laughs along the journey, and she's really encouraged me as an artist just to stay true to me. And I think you can't really go wrong if you do that. No matter what you do in life, if you stay true to who you are, no one can really tell you that's wrong.
That kind of jumps right into what we're here to talk about too, which of course is a new EP. Congratulations on that. I listened to the songs. That really describes what we just said. It's who you are. It's a reflection of who you are.
Hmm. Well, thanks. I'm really excited about it. I wanted to set out to make a record that was every different part of who I am, the small town that I come from, to my faith, to heartbreak, and to see it all come together as a package is really exciting.
When you first started putting this together, because again, this is a reflection, this is an introduction of who you are. What were your thoughts? What were the things that you wanted to do? What were the things that you ended up changing to get to make sure that you were on the right path? Were there ever in times where like you wrote a bunch of songs and you're just like, no, let me scratch this all out. Let me start right over again. What was the path to lead to this EP?
Yeah, so a lot of the ideas of the songs that are actually on the record are things I'd been thinking about for a really long time. For example, Home Team is one of the songs on the album that came out as a single already.
Yes.
I had kind of tried to write that song on my own, and it wasn't coming to life. It needed Karen's magic on it and that team of writers. And so a lot of the songs were things that were on my mind and on my heart, but needed the right co-writers on them to really, for us all to be able to work together and throw not just one person's ideas, but three people's ideas on them. So it's been really cool. And I think uh, from the beginning, I knew I wanted to make a record that was really true to my country roots. I mean, I grew up on a dairy farm. Country is really deep in my soul. But as we were kind of producing the record, I realized I have a lot of like rock and roll in me. And I,
Yeah.
I grew up listening to a lot of that too. My dad was really into a lot of, Canadian rock bands like Trooper. But yeah, so I had a lot of that in me too. So it was kind of cool on the production side to see that more rock side of country come out and like Makes You Pretty. And yeah, so it's been really cool.
Who produced the album?
Karen Kasowski, who is absolutely incredible, and I'm just so honored to even be able to just say her name. She's an amazing person.
I was going to say, what is it like for you when you have your own ideas and you basically, again, and this goes to the word faith, giving up, just saying, I'm going to put my faith in somebody else to help me create this. What was that like to do that leap of faith?
Well, with Karen, it was really easy because I loved everything she was doing, everything she had, working with Mickey Guyton. I actually have listened to Mickey Guyton a long time prior to all of her success. So I knew, and I mean, all of the work she's done with some Canadian artists, Washboard Union,
Yeah.
Tim Hicks, Madeline Merlot. So I felt like I was in really, really good hands from the beginning. And it felt like a really good fit for us on like a personal level from the first time I wrote with her. So that really gave me so much trust. I felt like she understood who I was and what I was trying to do with the record right from the beginning. So it no longer felt like it was just mine, but it was ours together.
So here's the thing. So here we are. We're working on an EP. We're getting it right because this is the reflection of you. We've got the virus happening around the world, and we have a wedding to plan. How the what did you do all of this all at the same time?
That's a great question. I think I had I think I had moments where I handled it really well and moments where I just completely crashed and was like, what am I doing? Why am I doing this? And then I should have mentioned this before, I actually got into a really bad car accident about 3 weeks before my wedding,
Oh,
and I broke my rib. Yeah, a driver ran a red light, and it totaled my car. My airbag went off, the whole thing. 3 weeks before the wedding, the day before my bachelorette party with my friends. So it was quite an interesting time. But I mean, I try to always look for the positive, but it like kind of just brought me back to like, what is this really all about? Even like the times like producing the record where the world was shutting down and I knew I probably wasn't going to get to perform a lot of the songs, it kind of brought me back to like, is this record going to speak to people during this time? If I release this and we're in a pandemic, is it going to encourage people? Is it going to be something that they connect to and feel like they're not alone in what they're going through and their challenges? And if the answer to that was yes, I knew that I was doing something that was important. And that's all I care about in life, is doing something, being used, and using my gift to be able to help people, to be able to, yeah, just listen to where I'm supposed to be in life, and to do that, even if it's not necessarily what I always think is the best thing.
Okay, I'm just curious though. Did you have the vocals done before this accident?
Yes, yes, I
Okay,
did.
because I was gonna say, if you said no and you still pulled this off, I don't know how you could have cracked ribs trying to sing. I mean, it's tough enough for you to just walk down the aisle that way. What was it like walking down the aisle knowing you had that kind of injury?
Well, I only had one cracked rib, so it could
It
have been
doesn't matter.
all
One is bad enough.
yeah, I was so happy in that moment that I forgot all about my
Oh,
injury. I was in a lot of pain like prior, but the day of, I don't even remember noticing it. I danced, I had a blast, I drank wine, maybe that helped.
oh my
Not before the
goodness.
wedding, at the reception.
Oh my goodness.
But I just
I could see
wanted
you
to enjoy
breakdancing at your own wedding or something like
it.
that.
Well, my family loves to dance, my aunts and uncles, everyone. So I was grateful that we could have a dance at our wedding. It was just like kind of in the right time where there wasn't a lot of COVID cases going on, so things were a little bit more open. So I all I really wanted at my wedding was a dance. So
I I love it. If you guys decide to have kids, boy, you have stories to tell them, especially if they ever say, "Oh, I don't want to get up right now." Hey, I had cracked ribs and I still did all these things. So, but let's get into this. We haven't done it officially. You know, I love to do it this way, and I know we've already talked a little bit about the album, but I still want to make this part official. What is the name of the new EP, and how does it represent you today?
the name of the EP is Where You Come From, which is a lyric from one of the songs Home Team on the record. And every song that is on 6 tracks, every single one of those songs is a part of where it came from, whether that's the literal place that I came from, my small town, or that's challenge in life that's built me into the person that I am today. So it's a combination of the many different parts of life where you develop as a person, and for me, it's those places.
What single's out right now?
So right now we have a single out called "Makes You Pretty," which is all about finding your identity and value as a woman, which is definitely something that
Yeah.
has been a challenge. I mean, especially in the music industry, there's a lot of pressure to feel like you have to look a certain way, or be a flawless person all the time, which just isn't reality. And it's really easy to be super hard on yourself. I know that's something that I'm working on, is not being so hard on myself. And um, that song kind of came from that place, and it's been really cool to see how it's hearing other women's stories, and to get to be part of sharing that message in the world, that your value has nothing to do with what you look on the outside, but the beautiful person that you are on the inside.
You know, guys go through that too, because these days guys need to, have a six pack. They need to, look chiseled. They have to have on the most expensive clothes, drive the most expensive car, have this, have that, tons of jewelry around their neck. It sounds like that song isn't, yes, it's what you're telling, a bit of your story, and for other women, but I think guys can relate to this as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Anyone in life. And I think at any age too. Sometimes you think of that as like only being something you think of when you're young or trying to impress people, but also, when you're older, like I look at so many beautiful people who are older that have many wrinkles, which young people are constantly trying to avoid. And I look at those things and I just think like I would never look at, my grandmother and wish she looked any different than she does because it
Yeah,
has
don't
a
we call
story. And I
those
think you have to embrace that.
love lines?
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah, why would you want to
Absolutely.
get rid of love lines, you know? Exactly.
Exactly.
Um, any chance, I know as we speak for Ontario, things are slowly starting to open up again. And I know there are a lot of events that are being planned in June and so forth and so on. Any plans on you going on tour, making some special performances? If not, will there be performances virtually? What's going on with you right now?
We're definitely hoping to get out there and play some festivals this summer. I do also have a show hopefully coming up with another artist. I can't say it out loud as with things are a little uncertain right now with COVID and whether or not that will happen. But
Yeah.
definitely playing some live shows is what we're hoping is going to be able to happen this summer. And I'm excited to get to play the music live. I think that's a whole other way of being able to connect with people, and especially as a new artist. So I'm have all my fingers and toes crossed for that.
Yeah, no, definitely. Carly, want to say congratulations on this new EP. Congratulations on the wedding. I'm glad that you're safe, not just from COVID, but that you know who running into you. Um, wow, you have such a story. Each chapter is amazing, and it's always about overcoming the odds. You're the perfect example of that. Cannot wait to see you back on tour and hearing more music, and I'm just so glad that we get to do this. Congratulations on all your success.
Aw, thank you so much, Rudy. It's always a pleasure to chat with you.